Look, the egg is on every table in Mexico, from the richest executive to the humble construction worker, from toddlers to grandparents. We all eat them. Mexico is actually one of the top egg-consuming nations on the planet, with the average person crushing over 360 eggs a year. For millions of families, this isn't just a side dish. It's the primary protein that keeps the household running. That is exactly why it's such a slap in the face to see what PROFECO, the National Consumer Protection Watchdog, uncovered when they dragged 24 major supermarket brands into the lab for a hard-hitting analysis. We're talking about brands selling you light eggs that are anything but light, brands bragging about vitamins they don't actually have, and premium labels that are literally illegal under Mexican law. Most insulting of all, they are charging you triple or quadruple the price for a product that lab tests proved is nutritionally identical to the $1.50 peso egg you can find at the corner tiendita. You buy whole eggs thinking they're more nutritious. You shell out extra for vitamin-enriched versions for your kids, trusting the packaging. But you are essentially throwing 4 or 5 pesos per egg into a marketing furnace when you could be getting the same quality for a fraction of the cost. This video is the wake-up call you've been waiting for. Today, I'm revealing the 8 specific brands that PROFECO flagged for fraud, deception, or failing to meet basic regulations. We're going to look at what the lab found versus what the labels claimed, how much money you're flushing down the toilet on premium marketing fluff, and the illegal health claims that are flat-out dangerous. I'm going to be blunt. I'm not here to tell you to stop eating eggs. It's one of the most complete and affordable foods on earth. But I am going to open your eyes to a massive scam where brands charge you a massive premium for a product that is nutritionally indistinguishable from the cheapest egg on the shelf. Before we tear into the list, do 3 things. First, hit that like button if you're tired of being lied to. Second, subscribe because every week I expose the fraud in the food industry. Third, tell me in the comments which brand you usually buy. You might be one of the people throwing hundreds of pesos away every month. Get ready because what we're about to unpack will change the way you shop for groceries forever. To understand how these brands are playing you, you have to understand the biology they're trying to fake. An egg is a self-contained life support system, packed with roughly 6 grams of protein and 5 grams of fat. The industry knows you're obsessed with health, so they use enrichment as a magical buzzword. They claim they boosted vitamin A or omega-3, but the reality is that nutrient levels in eggs fluctuate naturally. Most enrichment is just a way to take credit for what nature already did, or worse, a total fabrication that the lab can't find. Then there's the yolk color trick. You think a dark orange yolk means a happy hen in a meadow? Wrong. It usually just means the producer added synthetic pigments or marigold petals to the feed to paint the yolk and trick your brain into seeing quality. It's a cosmetic upgrade, not a nutritional one. In Mexico, we have over 200 million laying hens, most of them living in battery cages, where each bird has less space than a standard sheet of paper. They can't walk, stretch, or behave naturally. This stress is real, but the industry hides it behind bright, happy packaging and the word premium. They want you to believe that a higher price buys a better life for the bird or a better body for you. PROFECO's data proved that's a lie. We are living in the era of marketing eggs, where the cardboard box is more engineered than the protein inside it. Let's start with brand number 8, a company that couldn't even manage the most basic requirement of the law. All right, let's get into the Hall of Shame. We're ranking these from mildly annoying to absolute corporate extortion. We start with brand number 8, Albisa Huevo Blanco Seleccionado. Now, Albisa might not be the household name that's plastered on every billboard, but PROFECO caught them failing at the most basic level of consumer respect, telling you where the hell their product comes from. Their packaging completely omits the country of origin. This isn't just a minor clerical error, it's a middle finger to Mexican law. Under NOM 051, every food product sold in this country must clearly state its origin. Why? Because you have a right to know if that egg was laid in a local farm 3 days ago, or if it's been sitting in a shipping container crossing a border for 3 weeks. When a brand hides the origin, you lose your ability to judge freshness, cold chain integrity, and sanitary quality. Is it a mistake, negligence, or do they just think you're too distracted to care? Either way, it's a violation of your rights. Coming in at number 7, De Calidad Chedraui Blanco. This is a private label, the store brand for one of the biggest supermarket chains in Mexico. Millions of families buy Chedraui's house brand because they trust the giant logo on the door to vet the quality. Surprise, they also forgot to mention the country of origin. This is a classic private label trap. Supermarkets buy eggs in massive bulk from various anonymous suppliers and slap their own quality label on the box. Traceability goes out the window. If there's a salmonella outbreak tomorrow, tracking that specific egg back to a specific farm becomes a nightmare of corporate paperwork. NOM 159 exists to ensure sanitary safety, but if the box doesn't even tell you which country the bird lived in, how are you supposed to trust the safety standards? You're paying for a brand that acts like it's your neighbor while acting with the transparency of a shell company. Now number 6, El Calvario Premium. This one makes my blood boil because it's the gateway drug to the premium scam. El Calvario slaps premium on the box and includes a bunch of beautiful, unverifiable claims. Mexican law is very clear. If you put a claim on the label, you have to be able to prove it in a lab. PROFECO called them out for including legends that simply cannot be verified. This is the definition of a marketing tax. You walk down the aisle at Walmart or Soriana, and all eggs look the same. You see premium, you assume it's better, and you pay the surcharge. But the joke is on you. PROFECO's lab actually found that El Calvario's regular white eggs are actually high in protein and low in fat. The basic, honest product is perfectly fine, yet the company created a premium ghost version just to extract more cash from your wallet for a promise they can't even prove. Brand number 5, Mr. Egg. This is where it gets dangerous. Mr. Egg didn't just stop at unverifiable marketing, they crossed into medical fraud. They included claims on their packaging that suggest their eggs can prevent, treat, or cure diseases. Let's be very clear, an egg is a breakfast food, not a prescription drug. In Mexico, it is strictly illegal for any food product to claim therapeutic properties. Imagine someone with diabetes or heart disease reading these labels and thinking they can skip a doctor's visit because they bought the magic egg. It's predatory, it's unethical, and PROFECO flagged it as a flat-out violation of the law. Yet, because the fines are often just a cost of doing business, these boxes stay on the shelves, preying on people's health anxieties. Number 4, Bachoco enriched naturally. This is the big one. Bachoco is the undisputed titan of the Mexican poultry industry. When you see that name, you expect the gold standard. But the lab found that their vitamin A enriched versions, both red and white, didn't actually contain the amount of vitamin A they claimed on the label. Vitamin A is critical for your eyesight and your immune system, and you're paying a premium for that specific enrichment. If the lab can't find the vitamins, you're just buying a regular egg at a science fiction price. They also push their omega-3 content, but PROFECO pointed out that the levels are so low, it's basically irrelevant. To get the same omega-3 you'd get from a single can of cheap sardines, you'd have to eat about 30 of these Bachoco eggs. It's a technical truth used to sell a practical lie. Brand number 3, San Juan Light. This is the biggest metabolic joke in the supermarket. They put light in giant letters, leading you to believe you're saving yourself from fat and calories. The reality? PROFECO's lab proved San Juan Light has virtually the same amount of saturated fat as a regular non-light egg. There is no significant difference. They're charging you double for a word that means nothing. They also failed to provide complete nutritional information, essentially hiding the data that would expose the light claim as a total sham. It's the ultimate marketing trick. Sell the same product to two different people, tell one it's healthy, and charge them 100% more. At number 2, Super Vitamin. Part of the Mama Gallina corporate family, this brand was caught with significantly lower vitamin levels than what's printed on the box. When your entire brand name is Super Vitamin and you fail the vitamin test, your brand shouldn't even exist. Like Mr. Egg, they also used illegal legends suggesting their eggs have medicinal powers. It's a systematic pattern of deception. They aren't trying to feed you, they're trying to trick you. And finally, the champion of the fraud list, brand number 1, Mama Gallina. This brand failed every single test. They claimed enrichment, lab found none. It's just a regular egg. They claimed specific nutritional benefits. They didn't even bother to list the required fat, carb, or sodium data on the label. Country of origin? Missing. They are selling you a premium lifestyle product that is, in reality, a nutritional ghost. They charge up to 6 pesos per egg, 4 times the price of a generic egg, while delivering 0 of the promised benefits. It is the ultimate example of how the premium egg industry in Mexico is built on a foundation of empty promises and overpriced cardboard. And now, why sitting through all that corporate deception was worth it? Because once you stop being a victim of flashy marketing, you start being the master of your own grocery budget. I've spent the last 10 minutes tearing down the giants who lied to your face, but I promised you hope. You don't need a 6-figure salary or a nutrition degree to buy a good egg. You just need to know which brands are actually being honest about what's inside that shell. This is the turn where we move from outrage to action. We're going to look at the brands that PROFECO actually cleared, the ones that didn't hide their origin, didn't make up fake medical miracles, and actually gave you the protein you paid for. First on the list, and I know this sounds like a joke, is the generic bulk egg. I'm talking about the eggs you buy by the kilo at the local market, or the ones sold in those massive, unbranded 30-count flats at the wholesale clubs like Sam's Club or Costco under the basic Members Mark or Great Value labels. PROFECO's lab results were a massive win for the budget shopper here. When they stripped away the premium boxes and analyzed the actual biological content, the generic white egg, the one that costs you about $1.50 to 2 pesos per piece, came out essentially identical to the 6 peso super eggs. Nutrition isn't a luxury, it's a biological baseline. These eggs provide the same 6 grams of high-quality protein, the same vitamin D, and the same minerals as the ones in the gold-foiled boxes. If you are a family of 4 eating 2 eggs each for breakfast, switching from a premium brand like Mama Gallina to a high-quality bulk generic saves you nearly 1,200 pesos a month. That is a car payment or a month's worth of electricity just for stopping your habit of paying for cardboard. Next, we have a specific brand that accidentally won the nutrition lottery, El Calvario, Standard White. Remember how I told you their premium version was a scam? Well, the irony is that PROFECO found their standard, non-premium white eggs to be one of the best nutritional performers in the entire study. They were found to have a naturally high protein content and, most importantly, a lower than average fat and cholesterol profile compared to other mass-market eggs. No light branding, no fake premium labels, just a solid, honest egg. This is the brand strategy for the smart consumer. Ignore the top-shelf product from this company and grab the basic one at the bottom. You are getting the high-tier nutrition without paying for the marketing department's Christmas bonus. Then there is Huevo Tehuacan. This brand is a lesson in compliance. While the giants were busy forgetting where their eggs came from or making up medical claims, Cuevo Tehuacan was one of the few that actually followed the rules. They clearly state their origin. They don't use illegal medical legends to trick people with chronic illnesses, and their nutritional reporting actually matched what the lab found. They aren't trying to be superfood. They are just trying to be an egg producer that respects the law. In a market full of liars, being boring and legal is a superpower. When you buy this brand, you aren't paying a deception tax. You're paying for a product that actually knows what traceability means. Finally, for those of you who actually want to pay more for a real difference, we have to talk about the real premium tier. Brands like Herdes de Campo or verified organic pasture-raised eggs. Now look at the price tag. Yes, they are expensive. But here is the difference. These brands aren't charging you for fake vitamins. They are charging you for a completely different production model. PROFECO and independent labs have confirmed that eggs from hens that are actually free-range or pasture-raised, libre pastoreo, have a different fatty acid profile. You get real omega-3s that weren't just sprinkled into a chemical feed at the last minute. You get a higher concentration of vitamin E and beta-carotene because the birds actually saw the sun and ate grass. But here's the blunt truth for your wallet. If you can't afford the 7 or 8 pesos per egg for the real deal pasture-raised stuff, do not, I repeat, do not settle for the middle ground brands like Bachoco Enriched or San Juan Light. That middle ground is a trap. It's where you pay high-end prices for low-end industrial battery cage eggs with a slightly different label. If you're going to buy industrial eggs, buy the cheapest ones. They are the same. If you want to spend more, only spend it on brands that can prove the birds were out of the cages. Anything in between is just you donating your hard-earned money to a multi-billion-dollar corporation for the privilege of being lied to. The sensory difference is real too. When you crack an honest egg, whether it's a high-quality generic or a real organic one, the yolk should be firm and stand tall. If your premium egg has a watery white and a yolk that breaks the second it hits the pan, you've been sold old industrial junk in a fancy box. High turnover is the secret to quality. The generic eggs at a busy tiendita are often fresher than the premium eggs sitting on a supermarket shelf for weeks because nobody wants to pay 80 pesos for a dozen eggs. Freshness is the ultimate nutrient. Now stay with me, because in the final part, I'm giving you the golden rules of the egg aisle, the specific red flag words that should make you put the box back immediately. Now that we've burned through the illusions of the premium egg aisle, it's time to arm you with the specific rules so you never get taken for a ride again. Consider this your tactical guide to the supermarket, the kind of stuff the industry hopes you never learn. Rule number 1. The front of the box is a movie poster, not a science report. If you see words like premium, super, or enriched without a clearly verifiable lab breakdown, you are looking at a marketing tax. Put it back. Rule number 2. Search for the country of origin. If a brand like Albisa or Chedraui's private label is hiding where that egg was laid, they are hiding the chain of custody. You deserve to know if your food is local or if it's been sweating in a truck for 1,000 miles. Rule number 3. Ignore the shell color. Whether it's white or red, the nutritional value is the same. Buying red eggs because they look more natural is just paying for the breed of the hen, not the quality of the protein. Rule number 4. Stop falling for the light trap. There is no such thing as a metabolic shortcut in an egg. If a brand like San Juan Light claims lower fat but hides the data, they are selling you the exact same saturated fat at a 100% markup. Rule number 5. Check the shell integrity. A dirty or cracked shell is a direct gateway for bacteria like Salmonella, regardless of how many vitamins the box claims to have. And rule number 6. Look for the expiration date, not the price tag. A cheap, fresh egg from a high-turnover corner shop is biologically superior to an expensive, premium egg that has been sitting under fluorescent lights for 3 weeks. The big mindset shift you need to make is simple. The egg is a biological commodity. The industry is wired to trick you into thinking it's a luxury product so they can justify a 400% price increase. They use marigold petals to paint yolks orange and fake enrichment claims to soothe your health anxieties. But as the lab results from PROFECO proved, the 1.50 peso egg is the same fuel as the 6 peso egg. Every time you buy a dozen of those premium ghosts, you are lighting 40 or 50 pesos on fire. Over a year, that is money that could have bought real medicine, real education, or real high-quality vegetables. You aren't being a better parent by buying Mama Gallina. You're just being a better customer for a corporation that doesn't respect you. Stop paying for the cardboard and start paying for the protein. Before you go and change your shopping habits forever, I need you to do 5 things to help spread this truth. First, comment below with the brand you used to buy. Tell me, I used to buy brand X thinking it was better. Let's see how many of us were in the same boat. Second, hit that like button if this investigation opened your eyes to the fraud in your fridge. Third, subscribe to this channel because every single week I am here exposing the food industry giants who are reaching into your pockets. Fourth, share this video with 3 specific people. Someone you know living with diabetes who might be falling for medical claims. A mother who wants the best for her kids but is being overcharged. And that one friend who refuses to buy anything but premium brands. They are literally throwing hundreds of pesos away every month on marketing fluff. And fifth, next time you walk into that grocery store, find the cheapest eggs with a clean, intact shell and a far-off expiration date. Save that extra 40 pesos a dozen and spend it on actual fruit or fiber. Your body will thank you way more than those ghost vitamins ever will. Thanks for sticking around and demanding the truth. Your money deserves respect, and your health deserves the facts. Stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next investigation.